Wake up, Atlanta. It's time for coffee. Talk presented by Spotify. Fresh vibes, real talk.
Let's get started, shall we?
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast here today. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank y'all so very much for, staying tuned for the content, staying tuned for everybody here with us on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Coffee Talk in the Evening, presented and powered by Spotify. I want to thank you guys so very much for staying tuned for the content and being more enamored with us and being patient with us. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've been in front of the camera. Yes, and it's been a minute since we started doing our podcast shows. It's been a week and a half. Let me tell y'all something. When your body says that you need to shut it down for a second, that is one of the things you got to do. If you guys didn't know this, because, we posted a little bit last week and I wanted to be kind of healthy enough to come on the microphone for you guys. I am very, very excited for the show. Where have I been last week? I will tell you guys. Last week I was home resting and recovering. If you kind of can hear it a little bit in my voice. Last week I was not tremendously, I want to say I was sort of sick, but it wasn't like I'm dying on my bed kind of sick. I have just been out of commission because my voice was gone. My energy was gone. Everything was gone. And what ended up happening was I ended up going to a primary care. I went to go see a doctor, and my doctor had, took some blood work, did an ultrasound of me. My lower neck was hurting, and on the inside where you have your throat, your Adam's apple, your urethra, you've had a lot of things that are in your neck. And I just couldn't be able to talk well. I was coughing a lot, and I just was not well. So I went to the doctor, and they said to me that, hey, you've been diagnosed with what is called a acute thyroiditis. I knew with the thyroid, I think I've said it on the show multiple times already. For everybody out there that knows that I have a thyroid issue, it sucks. I wish I didn't have it. It's not fun. It's one of those things that I just don't like to have, because with thyroid issues, it creates a whole bunch of stuff, y'all. It creates swelling in your neck sometimes. It creates inflammation in your neck with your because your thyroid's in your lower neck. It creates the inflammation. It creates scratchy throat. It creates coughing uncontrollably, right? It creates It creates a dry cough. It also creates hoarseness in the voice, and it also creates weakness, fatigue, and whatnot. And there's many factors of what's wrong with my thyroid. I think a lot of people know. I think it has something to do with me losing a lot of weight. As you guys know, I lost a lot of weight when it comes down to it, and when I was able to lose a lot of good weight, Hope and audience. Like, I'm proud of me losing the weight, but when you lose weight, your neck kind of changes, your body metabolism kind of changes on you. And I think what I was doing was I was kind of overdoing my workouts, because I'll be honest with y'all. I'll be completely honest with y'all. When it comes down to it, the last 3 weeks, Hope, I think I've been going to the gym a lot more because I wanted to do a summer push. And the summer push, let me tell you, doing a summer push for summertime is amazing. It's one of those things that I enjoy doing. I enjoy pushing myself to the limit when I need to at the gym, but I'm learning that I can't really do that because I have a thyroid issue and it erupts. And I was going hard before this last week. The previous 2-3 weeks, I was going to the gym like 4 or 5 times a week, which, and to be fair, when I go to the gym 4 and 5 times a week, y'all, I would go, but I would only go for about an hour and a half, right? So I wasn't going to the gym for 3 hours 5 times a week. That's overdoing it. I would go to the gym for a 1 hour workout session, and it allowed me to have my thyroid erupted, right? So it started with a sore pain in my neck. It started with what it looked like. It felt like a sore throat, like I was coming down with a common cold. So then I just ride it out. I was just riding it out because, I didn't know. I was riding it out, riding through the week with a sore throat. And, I just took some medicine, some over-the-counter medicine, and I was going to call it a day. And then it erupted on the July 3rd, the night of July 3rd, up leading into July 4th weekend. My thyroid and my neck was really, really swole. It was really, really hurting. And I actually ended up going to urgent care to check to see if it was something urgent. My urgent care doctor said, hey, there's nothing wrong. You don't have strep throat. By the grace of God, I don't have strep throat. I'm not severely sick. They can't check my thyroid. I had to go to a certain type of special type of doctor that specializes in thyroid. So I went to my thyroid doctor on Monday. I couldn't go 4th of July. I couldn't go Sunday. It was the weekend. They were closed, right? Obviously for 4th of July. So I ended up going to go see my thyroid doctor on Monday. They took blood work and got an ultrasound, and they came to the conclusion that I was diagnosed with acute thyroiditis. And that was the week last week. After 4th of July week, I was just kind of sick in bed. I mean, I had to go to work and go to the offices throughout the week, but at the times that I didn't have to do that, y'all, I was in bed. I was taking my medicine that was prescribed to me, along with some cough drops, along with some throat tea. And I was in bed watching movies left and right because I just was not feeling it. And it does affect your body. It does create fatigueness when it comes down to it. So I one of those things that I genuinely don't enjoy being bedridden from sickness, because if you guys know, I am a gym freak. It was itching me last week, y'all. It was itching me so bad last week that I could not go to the gym. Like, it really bothered me, because when it come down to it, my mom and my family members was saying, and even my doctor was saying last week, hey, take your time, take the moment to breathe, take the moment to rest your thyroid, because when you don't allow your body to rest and recover, it could inflame even worse, right? So I ended up doing that. I think it's a mixture between that. I think it's also a mixture between what I've been either eating or what I've been drinking. Now, I will say this. I do drink Celsius a lot. That could have erupted my thyroid. So I'm learning to now, sadly, I think I can't drink Celsius anymore, because I think that's a main contributor to my thyroid issue. I think it might have been one of the out to eat foods that I had that I shouldn't have, but I did. And I felt bad because, the 4th of July weekend, Evelyn was supposed to come to the studio to record. Now, we do have a new episode out for What Happened Was, so you guys can take a look at that. But we were supposed to record last week for new episodes. And my friend, shout out to Connor, happy birthday, by the way. I missed out on his birthday dinner because I was just so sick and I just needed to rest and recover. So I say that to say to everybody, please, please, please mind your body, your soul, and your spirit. When your body is saying, hey, I'm getting sick, go to the doctor. I will say that. Go to the doctor, because it is so important. It's one of those things that it is so important for your throat. If you got thyroid issues, go get it looked at. If you're having neck pain, if you're having back pain, if you're having stomach pain, right? Because I know stomach pain's happening left and right. A lot of colleagues, they getting sick from a stomach virus, some sort of stomach bug, from some contaminated produce that's out here in Georgia. I say to everybody, stay fearful of that, because let me tell you, boy howdy, it's the wrong time to get sick right now, right? It's getting hot. It's been hot, but it's going to continue to get hot. Fall time's around the corner. You do not want to catch a stomach bug. So I say to a lot of people, stay vigilant, stay praying up, and just immune system, vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin B, B12 if you need it, and drink your juices, and just stay stay with it because health is wealth. I can't express that enough. Health is wealth. But how I'm feeling today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm feeling a lot better. I just needed a week to rest, recover, but tonight, I'm feeling a lot better. Excuse me, still lingering cough here and there, but I have a firm believer that now that I'm having the lingering cough, I don't think it's my thyroid this time. I think it's like a domino, right? When I start coughing a lot and then mucus starts to build up. So now I think it's just minor mucus that is kind of fluing itself out, which it takes a couple days. When it comes down to that. So I will say that to say, rest assured that everyone stay vigilant when it comes down to it as well. Can't wait for this episode for sure. I got to talk about quite a few things for K.L.P. For Coffee Talk in the Evening. Ladies and gentlemen, again, if you're just now joining us, this is Coffee Talk in the Evening presented by Spotify. Boy, howdy, I am back. And I'm back to give you guys another exciting episode. Now, I'm here to talk about it. Because if you guys know, the music industry is popping, right? We had so many great musics this time around, and I'm for this evening show, I'm kind of going to be bouncing all over the place because I got to get the show edited and done because I do want to upload our snippet of this part of the show around 8 o'clock tonight. So we're racing against time because it is 7 o'clock now. And I had a full day, I had to, of course, be back in the office from the weekend. Had a lot of great things happen with the office. My office is out there. And then I ended up going to the gym. My first time coming back to the gym in a week. Very, very excited to be back in the gym. Taking it slow. Again, I wasn't rushing back in there to do heavy weights, but I took it slow, but it felt good to be back. Because again, after a full week of not going to the gym, it irked me. I didn't eat like a fat kid. I had nothing but soups, and I had my factor meals, but I had soups and warm foods like soups and tomato soup and juices and tea. So I ended up having all of those things happen when it comes down to it. So, and it felt good to be back in the gym. I would say that. So, but over the week I was doing some bed rest, and I saw it on social media. New music is out. Tank got this new music out. Tank got this song called Yes. All you gotta do is say yes. Something, then say yes. Let me tell you something. Tank ain't done. Tank said from that last album, it was the R&B Money album, he said, hey, I'm retired, I'm done. Dude, you ain't done. You got more to do. Tank is on the upswing because that new single is out. And of course, he was in Detroit along with Eric Bellinger for the Chris Brown and Usher tour. Very, very good to see Tank still in tip-top shape. Dude, still swole. I really like that song, Yes, by him. He said that he's working on a new album based off his live streams and his live things that he's done. Like I said, I am so happy that Tank is not done. I'm so glad that he is back in the music industry. Let me tell you something. I'm a big fan of Tank. I'm a big fan of R&B in general, right? When it comes down to my R&B bag, I am into it. When it comes down to the R&B music, I love R&B. I love what R&B stands for, and I love that R&B is here to stay, and they're really catching up on the R&B train when it comes to all of my favorite R&B artists. Like I say, Tank is back in a special way. I think he's on an upswing, right? I can't wait to see what that new album goes for because he's not done. I got sad when he said he was done. This was his last album, but he's not done. He's not finished. So I'm very, very excited for Tank's comeback. I think it's time. I think it's very, very needed. We need him in this game of when it comes down to music. And that song is very fantastic. And, you also had a lot of people are on tour right now, which is very, very good that a lot of people are on tour. I saw snips and clips of Jay-Z with his Yankee Stadium performances. He had so many good people out. They say that Jeezy is Atlanta native. Of course, Jeezy and Jay-Z has so many great hits. Allow me to reintroduce myself. It's a I can't name that song, but it's a song about Jay-Z and Jizzy and Jay-Z. You guys know who I mean. You guys know what the song is. But Jeezy skipped out on his Las Vegas residency, and a lot of people was tripping out about that because a lot of people think that Jeezy just kind of quit his residency. I don't think Jeezy quit his residency. He's going to be back in Vegas. He just needed a day off so he can fly to New York to perform with Jay-Z. Let me tell you something. If I had the opportunity to perform with Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z is one of them ones. I'll be honest. Hands down, Jay-Z is one of them ones you want to show out for. You want to perform for, right? It's a no-brainer that Jay-Z said, okay, I'm going to be back Vegas, but I need to go to New York real quick for this performance. I would have done the same thing, right? You had Nas come back out and perform. I think it would have been cool if we would have saw Kanye West, right? Because Kanye West and Jay-Z performed. They gave us a full album. I don't think they're ever going to mend their friendship after Kanye West went on some radical stuff. So when he went on that radical shit, you know, it just kind of burnt that bridge with Jay-Z. And it's sad because, you know, they had a lot of great hits. But then you also had Rihanna, right? Rihanna popped out for Jay-Z. Beyonce, right? I didn't see that coming because I thought Beyonce was just like, hey, my baby got it. He gonna do his thing. I got my tour coming up next year, right? But Beyonce popped out for Jay-Z. Alicia Keys, which makes sense because you're performing Empire State of Mind. It makes sense, right? They're in New York. You have to perform that song. But I'm very, very happy about Jay-Z's performance. A lot of people were in the building, and it just goes to show you that artists like Jay-Z can sell tickets. Artists like Jay-Z can sell a full stadium. What I think Jay-Z could do is I think he can sell a tour. Will he go on tour? I don't know. I think maybe he's doing this Yankee Stadium performance so that way he can kind of fill the waters a little bit. He can kind of fill out the waters. He can kind of fill out some things, and then he can decide if he wants to go on tour. Tours cost a lot of money, which I think Jay-Z can do, but it's a lot of money. It's a lot of work. I will commend you. I do think Jay-Z is working on a new album. I am convinced that he might go on tour because Jay-Z's been losing weight too. He's been in the gym clanging and banging, and he cut his dreads off too, right? So he's on a run. Really, really excited for Jay-Z's new music, if that's even happening, because Pharrell popped out with Jay-Z too. And I think Pharrell and Jay-Z got something cooked up, and they had some good albums together too, right? Some good albums, some good tracks, some good records. So I look forward to it. Jay-Z looked like he was having fun. It looked like a lot of people rocked with it. And a lot of celebrities came out to this thing. I saw LeBron James doing the two-step, doing his thing. LeBron James was in his element at this thing. So very, very, very exciting when it comes down to Jay-Z. And it's a great time for people to be touring. I did see with the Usher Raymond and Chris Brown, the R&B tour that's on right now. This has been the hottest topic that everybody's been talking about. And of course, I'm going to talk about it here on the show. So Chris Brown goes on to it, on tour with Usher, we all know. And it's the segment that they're doing where they bring the ladies on stage. And that's the segment that Chris Brown does. And there's a young lady that he brought on stage. And she was feeling it, getting kissed on. She arched her back, moving a little something, right? She was giving it up to Chris Brown. Now, I'm here to say the husband, because she's married, right? Married woman. Well, I guess she used to be now. She was married. You know, she's at the concert, and she was the lucky one that got picked. Let me tell you something. And I'm just going to say it. I don't hate on Chris Brown for doing this segment. Do I think the segment is a little bit lustful and demonic sometimes? Do I think it's a little bit lustful? Yes. But Chris Brown has to sell the show. It's a show. And from a business perspective, I understand it. From a spiritual man, yeah, it is lustful, right? It's very out there. And when you have it that a woman that is happily married, giving it up, shaking a little something, and it's out there. She's out there, right? She's trying to get noticed, right? She's on camera, phones are popping out, she's on stage. I get it. Some of these women, and I won't say all, some of the ladies out here in this world, they're looking for that hype, right? It's a hype thing where you're able to go out and to be on stage and to get noticed and to go viral, right? I get it. But the married man, her husband, threw all of her stuff out the house. Was he wrong was he wrong for that? I don't know, because it just depends on his value, right? If he is a spiritual man or a Christian man, that might be frowned upon into the community, right? Right? And you got to remember, ladies, when you pop on stage with Chris Brown, you're a ticket. You're a girl that's a pretty face that's going to help him do his performances. You're aiding him to have a better performance, right? Because 9 times out of 10, Christopher Maurice Brown ain't thinking about you the next day. He's thinking about, okay, what's next? What's the next show we got to do? Right? He's probably already boarded a plane to the next city, to the next venue. He's not thinking about, man, that girl was so pretty that I danced on. He's not thinking about you like that. So I can kind of understand why the husband got upset. It's unfortunate. And that's why Chris Brown said in the next city that he was in, he said, hey, if you are happily married, or you're married and your boyfriend or your husband brought you to the show, this ain't for you. And it's not. I will agree. If you are happily married, keyword, happily married, you wouldn't pop up on stage, right? Chris Brown and Usher, they're looking for some 20-some-year-old women that are very, very impressionable women that wants to get on stage for the hype. They don't have a boyfriend. They don't have a husband. They're very, very young, right? And sometimes some people can say it's kind of predatory. Yeah, I guess you can kind of see it that way. There's an argument to be made that it's kind of predatory on that part. There's an argument that can be made for that. But that's the segment, right? That is the segment. So I do say to a lot of people, if you are married, maybe this may not be a good time for you to pop on stage. Enjoy the concert, yes, but don't pop out on stage, right? the R&B tour is going really well, right? I think they're doing really well for the tour, and I think it's gonna be really, really good. I think it's gonna be very impactful. They're on their way to Atlanta in November. Very excited for that. But shout out to Chris Brown. Shout out to the music industry. The music industry is booming and jamming. When it comes down to it, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, come later this week, I think. Excuse me. I think I'm going to review Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. They made the remaster of that game, and it is available now for PlayStation 5. The remaster, the remake. I think I am going to see if I can get a hookup to play the game. Because a lot of people have been saying that game is good. The game received a 9 from IGN, and a lot of great reviews for that game. I played that game years ago. I think I played it when it came out in 2013. And, obviously I never revisited it since, but I'm very, very excited for that when it comes down to the gaming community. I will say, though, the gaming community is quite interesting, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys know, if you read the latest headlines over the weekend, a lot of games, right? A lot of game jobs have been cut. Xbox has dropped 3,200 jobs from Xbox and shut down 4 video game studios. And I'm kind of sad about it. Arsha Shawarma kind of told us a hint about making some layoffs and some cuts. She didn't say like layoffs and cuts in specific, but she said that changes are coming. It is a sad, sad thing for gaming, as we still want to be gamers and still want to relive the gaming community and industry. I think we're in a sad, dark place for gaming when it comes down to 3,200 employees, job people, game studios getting cut. I think Xbox cut an extra 900 jobs as of today that I saw today, the headlines. And of course, with PlayStation no longer having physical media in the year 2028, it's a sad, sad thing that we're in for gaming developers and producers and game creators. I I think we're kind of proving the gaming industry's point, though, right? GTA 6 have made, I think the latest headline, and I might be wrong, about 15 million copies on pre-order for GTA 6. And the game's not even out yet. Now, for me, I didn't pre-order because the game's going to be there when it comes out, right? When it comes out on my server, on my PlayStation 5, that's when I would go pick the game up. I don't think it's sensible to give somebody $80 up front for nothing. That's not the way I do video games. That's not the way I articulate video games, right? If a pre-order is there, then if it's a game I really want and I'm pre-ordering, then it has to be a pre-order a week before. But the game's not coming out until November. So a lot of people gave Take-Two, and there's no shit talk on Take-Two and Rockstar, but like you guys gave them $80 in 6 months advance of a game, to where they still have the opportunity, God forbid, to push back the game. So I don't think it's sensible that people are giving their hard-on dollars to the game studios, but people are doing that. And like I said, your money's your money, right? Your money is your money, but it just doesn't make sense for me. And it's sad, because and maybe, and I will say too, I say it's sad for physical media, and hopefully I don't contradict myself, but I did sell off a lot of my old PlayStation 3 games. And the reason why I did that is because I was trying to declutter. And I found it that those games I don't play because my PlayStation 3 broke, right? So I ended up selling my catalog of PlayStation 3 and my 3DS games to Quick Flips. Shout out to Quick Flips and K.L.P up there in Kentucky, because that was the extra cash that I could use, right? So I and maybe I'm part of that problem too, that we're kind of discarding physical media and we're going digital, because yes, for me, I do buy games digitally because it's a convenience for me. I like the opportunity to where I'm going to download a game right from my couch at home. I don't have to go to GameStop and they're throwing memberships and throwing shit down my throat for memberships and extra shit that I don't want, right? So for me, for convenience, yes. But for hardcore gamers who collect physical media and physical things, yes. Also, I got rid of my gaming collection, my physical media, because I did move. I did move to a different house, and as you get older, you try to declutter. You don't want a bunch of clutter in your house, right? Because there's a lot of stuff in your house, and you just, for health reasons, I had to declutter, right? So I ended up decluttering a lot of my stuff. And of course, Quick Flips, again, not an ad for them, but they offered me a good deal on some of the stuff that I sold to them. So, that's why I say it's kind of a sad dynamic. Maybe along with a lot of gamers like me, I'm probably part of the problem while we're selling some of my stuff off. But it is one of those things that, it is here to stay, guys. And it's going to be something that is, as we go forward into the future, it is expensive for game developers and game studios and game companies to develop physical disc, right? So that's why they're going to the digital route. Because, they say, hey, you guys pre-ordered GTA 6 digitally, we can cut costs that way. It's just business. Sad dynamic. Sad dynamic. I think it's a lot of people think differently. There's war going on between gamers who have physical media and gamers who don't have physical media. For me, I still have some of my games, like some of my PlayStation 5 and 4 games that I bought. I still have some of those in my inventory. I don't think it should be a war. I think everybody should just enjoy video games, right? Whether you're a console player or not. It's the same kind of concept. If you are a PC gamer, right, you don't buy the disc, you buy from Steam. So a lot of people are switching to PC. I'm always going to be a console gamer. That's just me. But some people are switching to PC. So I do say to a lot of people, for PlayStation, it's a sad dynamic, but it is what it is. It's happening, whether we like it or not. Asha Swarmer said it. She's doing these video game cuts and stuff. It's happening, whether we like it or not. There has been a story that Satya Mandela is interested in selling Xbox from Microsoft. I don't think Satya really cares about video games. Really, I still don't think he does. I think he just cares about Microsoft software. because that's what makes the money. Hopefully that's not true, because if Xbox were to get sold from Microsoft, I wonder who would be the host for Xbox, or will Xbox stand alone, right? Could they do it without Microsoft? Probably not. Probably not, because Microsoft got deep pockets. But we'll wait to see. We'll wait to see what happens when it comes down to it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue on Coffee Talk in the evening, presented by Spotify, and I'll be back to wrap the show up, so stay tuned.
Okay, so here's something to think about. NBA Youngboy, one of the most streamed artists in the world, has decided to take on not just one, but two of Atlanta's biggest names in hip-hop, Future and Lil Baby. What's going on here?
That's exactly what I've been wondering. It's like he woke up one day and decided to pick a fight with Atlanta as a whole. First, he's dissing Future right after the release of The Real Me, and now he's throwing shade at Lil Baby. It's wild.
It really is. And what's so strange is how sudden and seemingly unprovoked it all feels. Future drops an album, and out of nowhere, Youngboy is taking shots at him. There's no history of beef between them, no prior tension, just this out-of-the-blue attack.
Exactly. And then it escalates even further. He's not just targeting Future, he's making moves that seem to call out Atlanta's hip-hop scene as a whole. That's a bold move, especially considering how influential Atlanta has been in shaping modern rap.
Right? And then there's the Lil Baby angle. Youngboy liking that DJ Academics video where he says, Lil Baby is struggling while Gunna is thriving. It's such a subtle, almost passive-aggressive way to stir the pot. He didn't even say anything directly, but the message was loud and clear.
That's classic Youngboy, though. He's always been good at making these indirect jabs, whether it's through social media, diss tracks, or cryptic posts. It's like he knows exactly how to get people talking without being overtly confrontational.
And it's not the first time he's gone after Lil Baby either. There's some history there with diss tracks and subtle shots. But what's interesting is how one-sided it all seems. Lil Baby hasn't really engaged with him, at least not publicly.
Which is probably the smarter move. Getting involved in public beefs can be risky. Sure, it gets you attention, but it can also distract from your music and your brand. And for someone like Lil Baby, who's built a reputation for consistency and quality, it's probably better to just stay focused on his own work.
Absolutely. But fans are always going to take sides and speculate. That's part of what makes these feuds so fascinating to watch. Even when they seem unnecessary or random, they generate a ton of buzz. People love the drama, even if they don't fully understand it.
That's so true. And speaking of fans, they seem pretty divided on this. Some are fully backing Youngboy, saying he's just being real and calling out what he sees as fake or overrated. Others are concerned, wondering if there's something deeper going on with him. This kind of behavior, picking fights seemingly at random, can sometimes be a sign of personal struggles.
That's a really good point. And it's not uncommon for artists, especially ones as young and prolific as NBA Youngboy, to go through phases where they feel the need to assert their dominance or prove themselves. But when it starts to feel erratic or unfocused, it does raise some questions.
It really does, and it makes you wonder what his endgame is. Is this all leading up to something, a new album maybe? Or is it just a way for him to vent or stay in the headlines? Because let's be honest, controversy sells. And Youngboy is no stranger to using controversy to his advantage.
That's true. But at the same time, there's a risk of overplaying that card. If you're constantly in the news for beefs and drama, it can start to overshadow your actual music. And Youngboy is a talented artist. He doesn't need to rely on feuds to stay relevant.
Exactly. And that's what's so puzzling about this whole situation. He's already one of the most streamed artists out there. His fan base is massive and incredibly loyal. He doesn't need to pick fights to prove his worth. His music speaks for itself.
Totally. But I think part of it might be about control. When you're as big as YoungBoy, there's a lot of pressure to maintain that status. And one way to do that is by controlling the narrative, making sure people are talking about you, even if it's for controversial reasons.
That's a good point. And it does seem like he's very intentional about how he uses social media and his platform. Even something as simple as liking a video can send a message and get people talking. It's like he knows exactly how to push the right buttons.
For sure. But it also makes you wonder how sustainable that approach is. At some point, people might get tired of the drama and just want to focus on the music. And if you've alienated too many people along the way, it could come back to bite you.
Definitely. And that's where someone like Lil Baby has an advantage. By staying out of the drama and focusing on his craft, he's building a legacy that's less about controversy and more about consistency and quality.
Exactly. And that's not to say YoungBoy can't do the same. He's still young, and he has plenty of time to evolve and grow as an artist. But it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Will he double down on the beefs, or will he eventually shift his focus back to the music?
Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, he's got everyone's attention right now. Whether it's for the right reasons or not, people are watching, and that in itself is a kind of power.
Absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see if any of this leads to new music or if it's just a temporary phase. Either way, it's definitely keeping the fans on their toes.
No doubt about that. Well, I think we've covered this from just about every angle. Any final thoughts?
Just that I hope YoungBoy remembers why he started making music in the first place. The industry can be chaotic, but at the end of the day, it's the music that matters most.
Well said. Let's hope he finds a way to channel all this energy into something productive. Until then, we'll just have to wait and see what happens next.
Agreed. Always something new in the world of hip-hop, isn't there?
Always. Thanks for the chat. It's been a good one.
Likewise. Talk soon.
Okay, so here's a wild stat to kick things off. Kyle Schwarber has already hit 32 home runs this season, and we're only halfway through. That's the kind of power we're talking about heading into tonight's home run derby in Philadelphia.
That's incredible. And what makes it even better is that Schwarber gets to do this in front of his home crowd at Citizens Bank Park. Philly fans are some of the most passionate in baseball, and they're going to bring the energy tonight.
Oh, no doubt. And it's not just Schwarber. Bryce Harper is in the mix too, which makes this a dream scenario for Phillies fans. But the field is stacked beyond just the hometown heroes. You've got Junior Caminero, Jordan Walker, Munetaka Murakami, and even Jack Caglianone, who might be the dark horse of the night.
That's what makes this year's derby so exciting. It's not just about the big names. It's about the mix of established stars and rising talents. Caminero, for example, is only 22, but he's already being talked about as one of the most dynamic young hitters in the game.
Right, and Caminero's bat speed is just ridiculous. He's got that perfect combination of youth, power, and energy that makes him a serious contender. But then you've got someone like Murakami, who's already a legend in Japan and is starting to make waves here in the MLB.
Murakami is fascinating. He's got 20 home runs this season, and nearly half of his hits in the majors have been homers. That's the kind of raw power that can really shine in a derby setting. Plus, this could be his breakout moment for American fans who might not know much about him yet.
Exactly. And then there's Jack Caglianone, He's not leading the league in home runs or anything, but he's got that left-handed swing and raw power that could surprise a lot of people. Plus, he's got a great story. Raised in Tampa, played at the University of Florida, and now he's living out his dream.
That's the beauty of the Derby. It's not just about who has the most home runs in the regular season. It's about who can rise to the occasion, handle the pressure, and put on a show for the fans. And sometimes it's the unexpected players who steal the spotlight.
Totally. And speaking of stealing the spotlight, let's talk predictions. Jeff Passan has Caminero over Murakami. David Schoenfield is going with Schwarber over Caminero, citing home field advantage. And Buster Olney, he's picking Harper over Caminero.
Jesse Rogers also has Caminero, but beating Schwarber. And Jorge Castillo, he's all in on Schwarber, beating Harper in an all-Philly final. It's interesting how divided the predictions are this year.
It really is. And it just goes to show how wide open this year's Derby is. There's no clear favourite, which makes it even more exciting. But let's not forget about the longest home run predictions. Passon says Caglianone will hit 486 feet. Schoenfield thinks Caminero will go 489. And Olney, he's predicting Schwarber will launch 511 feet.
That's a bold prediction, but honestly, I wouldn't put it past Schwarber. The guy can absolutely crush the ball. And Citizens Bank Park is known for being a hitter-friendly park, especially for lefties like Schwarber.
And isn't that part of the fun of the Derby, the sheer spectacle of those towering home runs that seem to defy physics? It's not just about the numbers, it's about the moments that make you go, wow.
Absolutely. And then there's the question of who might become a household name after this. Passan thinks it's Murakami's time to shine, while Olney is betting on Caglianone. Both are great picks, but honestly, any of these guys could steal the show.
Agreed. And then there's the moment we'll all be talking about after it's over. Schoenfield thinks it'll be Schwarber winning with a final swing home run. Castillo's imagining a Schwarber-Harper showdown in the final round. And Rogers, he's predicting that the slower pace, now that players can take pitches without a clock, might turn some viewers off.
I get where he's coming from, but I think the drama and the energy of the event will outweigh any pacing issues. There's just something magical about the home run derby. It's not just about the home runs, it's about the stories, the rivalries, and the moments that make you fall in love with baseball all over again.
Well said. And with this year's field, I think we're in for something special. So who's your pick to win it all?
Oh, that's tough. My heart says Harper because, come on, it's Bryce Harper in Philly. But my head says Caminero. He's young, he's hungry, and he's got the kind of bat speed and power that can win a derby. What about you?
I'm going with Schwarber. He's leading the league in home runs. He's got the home crowd behind him. And I think he's due for a big moment like this.
Fair enough. Either way, I think we're in for a night to remember.
Absolutely. Let's grab some popcorn and enjoy the show.
You have it, ladies and gentlemen. Coffee Talk in the Evening presented by Spotify. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you guys for your patience. I thank you guys for enjoying the show. physically back here. Lingering cough, but we're going to get through it. And we got more episodes this week for you guys as well. So we hope that you guys stay safe, stay swanky. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are here in Georgia, in Atlanta, stay cool because it's getting hot. I wasn't able to go motorcycling because it's just been so hot and rainy lately. And I've been with the thyroid issue. But stay safe. Be aware of your surroundings. Watch out for bacteria because that stomach bug that everybody's getting here in Georgia, it is spreading. So stay aware of what you're putting in your mouth, where you're at. Carry lots of hand sanitizer if you're going out because people are sick and they're not expressing that they're sick. They're not staying home when they're sick. They're out spreading the germs. So I do say to a lot of people, stay safe, stay swanky, and we see you guys in the next episode. Till then, so long. Peace.
We bringin' good energy.
This has been Coffee Talk, presented by Spotify. From our cast, we thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Made it.